Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Breaking news tonight out of Fargo. Crews were called out to a single vehicle rollover about 45 minutes ago. It happened at 76th Avenue and 38th Street South in Fargo. Cass County deputies tell us the female driver was traveling eastbound on 76th and didn't see the stop sign and failed to negotiate the curve, then rolled one time, according to witnesses. Authorities tell us speed was a factor and so was alcohol. They say the woman was taken to a hospital with what are believed to be minor injuries, adding the car appears to be totaled. A Fargo family is upset after they say their 11-year-old girl was beaten by a young boy. Her father says she has faced harsh bullying before this incident and she just wants it to stop. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly sat down with the girl and her father, who want their struggle to shed light on the ongoing issue right here in Fargo.
The alleged victim, Sarah Dawson, had a difficult time talking on camera about the bullying. She did share with me the marks on her body she says came at the hands of one boy in particular. Her parents say she has experienced verbal and physical attacks at their South Fargo neighborhood park and school.
And he started calling her names and slapping her.
And they say it's been going on for months and nothing seems to change.
Every time they run into each other at the park, it's the same thing over and over and over again.
They say matters continued to escalate, and then Sarah was seriously hurt. Scratches on her legs and arms with a bloody nose.
Went to the hospital and cops were called due to the abuse and the nose bleeding.
Sarah's parents say they will not stand for bullying, that people need to be aware it's happening in our schools and in our community, and it's a serious matter.
It's heartbreaking, and it's devastating in a lot of sense, and not being able to do anything about it is what kills you deep down.
Sarah's parents have tried to bring an end to the problem. They've talked to the individual's parents, hoping they will act. They say fixing the problem starts at home.
At least sit your child down and talk with them. Tell them that bullying is not nice, and try to work with them on it.
They say bullying is never okay and things need to change where it's no longer taken lightly. In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Sarah's parents say if the bullying does not stop, they will consider pressing charges. Quick-acting bystanders in Grand Forks are getting credit for extinguishing a deck fire earlier tonight. The Grand Forks Fire Department says it was caused by someone improperly extinguishing smoking materials. It happened at 3500 30th Avenue South. Authorities say bystanders noticed the fire burning on a table and climbed to the second-floor deck. A person living on the third floor then handed down a bucket of water to put out the flames, according to firefighters. The flames were confined to that deck, but did cause $2,500 in damages. No one was injured in the blaze. A lawsuit has been filed against Valley City, Barnes County, and others by the family of a 72-year-old man who died in their custody after a 2018 suspected DUI arrest. But the hope is it will help the family find some peace and get justice for Warren Lindvold, who suffered from a type of chronic arthritis that fused his spine and is believed to have played a role in his death. Video of his arrest shows Valley City police officers putting Lindvold into a pain compliance hold, and later you can see them dragging him by his arms. Lindvold was taken to the hospital hours after saying he couldn't move or feel his arms and legs, but was later returned to his cell, where then hours later he was found paralyzed on the floor. He received emergency surgery but died a few days later. Mercy Hospital of Valley City is also named in the lawsuit and is accused of malpractice. The complaint says staff were negligent in their evaluation, care, and treatment of Lindvold. The Minneapolis mayor announced this afternoon the city has reached a settlement with the family of Justine Damond, totaling $20 million. Of that, $18 million is earmarked for the family, and another $2 million goes to the Fund for Safe Communities at the Minneapolis Foundation. This is reportedly the largest police settlement in Minneapolis history.
This is not a victory for anyone, but rather a way for our city to move forward. And I do believe that we will move forward together. united in the shared belief that such a tragedy should never occur in our city.
Damon was shot and killed by then-officer Mohammed Noor in 2017. Earlier this week, a jury found Noor guilty of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. A scam that was last seen in this area in 2015 is back. The Cass County Sheriff's Department wants you to watch out for what they call Operation Homeless. The scammers target homeless people who have valid IDs. They convince the homeless to cash stolen counterfeit checks for them in exchange for a portion of the money. They're asking you to report any suspicious activity and for banks to be cautious when cashing checks for acquaintances or third parties. A local woman reached out to us saying she found and picked up hundreds of used needles near a Moorhead park. She says she did it to protect kids in the area. And although well-intentioned, her actions may end up doing more harm than good. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero tells how touching a dirty needle is not a good move.
Deborah Holbrook was walking her dog late Thursday night through her South Moorhead neighborhood when she spotted needles and syringes.
And I thought it would be safest for me to take them.
Holbrook got inside this trash can and picked up hundreds of needles by hand. She says she was careful not to get poked.
I was being really careful, picking up one at a time.
Holbrook believes most of the needles were being used for drugs.
There's a lot of used ones in there. The needles are bent and...
She called police, but Holbrook says they told her to place them back in the garbage can because there was nothing they could do. She refused because it's so close to Romkey Park and near Minnesota State University Moorhead athletic field.
I put them in this bucket and wrote all this stuff on there, danger, syringes, don't touch, so nobody will touch it.
If you're looking for a place to dispose any syringes or needles that you may find, you can do so right here at this blue container located in downtown Fargo. But one thing you must never do, according to Fargo Cass Public Health, is to grab a needle syringe with your bare hands.
What they could do is very carefully, they could put on a pair of gloves, and we would, recommend a really thick pair of gloves.
And even then, Robin Letzke-Saul with Fargo Cass Public Health says you'll need to use tongs to pick up each needle.
You have to treat it as though it may be contaminated.
She says although you may not get poked by a needle, there's still a possibility you can get hepatitis C by touching one. In Moorhead, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
Fargo Cass Public Health says you should never put syringes or needles in the trash. If you must dispose of them, you can get a free Sharps container at most hospitals. And that needle drop-off location is 510 5th Street North, the Harm Reduction Center in downtown Fargo. The CDC has now confirmed measles in 22 states across the country as of late April. And while most who have been vaccinated should be in the clear, certain age groups may need another booster shot. We're told between the years 1963 and 1968, the measles vaccine was new. At that time, they used something called a killed virus vaccine, as opposed to nowadays when they vaccinate using a live virus. You may also be less protected if you received your vaccine between the late 60s and late 80s. At that time, only one vaccine was recommended. Now, a second or booster shot decreases your chances of becoming infected with measles even further. Experts say it's important to get the MMR vaccine as measles can spread so easily.
If there are 10 people in a room and someone comes in with measles, 9 out of 10 of those people are going to come down with measles, and it can stay in the room for up to 2 hours.
If you're not sure whether you've been vaccinated for measles, a simple blood test can let you know whether you have immunity, though we're told just getting another vaccine won't be harmful and is typically cheaper. Students at Discovery Middle School in Fargo gathered this afternoon to cheer on 14 staff members who shaved their heads in support of the school's music teacher, Sarah Barnum. Barnum was diagnosed with breast cancer earlier this school year. The school's staff told students if they raised $3,000, they would shave their heads. The students brought in $3,700.
Well, I haven't been bald since day none, so we'll find out what that's like.
Barnum says the support that she has received during this time has been overwhelming, and she believes no one loves like middle schoolers.
I've had signs made, I've had cookies bought, I've had hats worn, I've had bracelets given, Anything that you can imagine that they would do, they have done. 5 rounds of chemo, 20 radiation treatments later, we're cancer-free, and the hair's coming back.
The funds will be going to help Barnum with her medical bills. It is the start of what will be a very difficult and in some places dangerous weekend. Millions from the Midwest through the Northeast are dealing with storms that have caused major flooding and have taken at least 3 lives. In some areas, the water coming in so fast, the only way out is by boat. This video is from our sister station in Davenport, Iowa, which has been swallowed by the Mississippi River. We aren't seeing any flooding, but northwestern Minnesota saw thunderstorms earlier this evening, and as those fizzled out and moved east, they produced funnel clouds. Take a look at this. One of our viewers captured a funnel cloud west of Fertile and east of Beltrami before 7 this evening.